Hello, this is Marc reporting from School Oswald de Andrade in São Paulo, Brazil. When I got here yesterday, I remembered how different schools in Brazil are compared to MCDS. Starting with the classrooms. In most schools in Brazil, students stay together in one class all day, and the teachers come in and out, so you really get to know who's in your class really well. Next thing are the hours. In MCDS, we start school at 8 a.m. and we finish at 3:30 p.m. In School Oswald de Andrade, school starts at 7:20 a.m. and finishes at 3:15 p.m. However, on Fridays, MCDS finishes at the same time, 3:30, and Oswald de Andrade ends at 1 p.m. One thing that surprised me when I came to Miami was the campus. Miami Country Day has a huge campus. When I arrived here, I thought I was in a movie. In Brazil, schools are smaller. In MCDS, there are swimming pools, a huge field with a racetrack, basketball courts, while in Oswald de Andrade, there's a basketball court and an open area to hang out. Next thing we're going to talk about is the public transportations in Miami versus here in São Paulo. So in both Miami and São Paulo, we have public buses. Public buses are a major source of transportation for civilians and students everywhere. It is a cheap and fast way of transportation. The next public transport on the list is the metro. In Miami, we have something called the Metro Rail. The Metro Rail system is a 25-mile dual track that goes through above the ground with no traffic. It provides services to the airport and it runs from Kendall to Northwest Miami-Dade. The transportation that compares to the Metro Rail in São Paulo is the Metro. The only difference between the Metro Rail and the Metro is that the Metro is underground. The job is the same as it goes all around São Paulo, and it's the fastest method of transportation in the city. The last method of transportation that Miami has, as well as São Paulo, is the train. The train is usually used for longer trips. For example, if you're leaving Miami-Dade County to Palm Beach. The train in Miami is called the Tri-Rail, and in São Paulo it's called the CPTM. The train is not usually used in the daily life of a student or a civilian. However, if there's an emergency, it is always good to know it's there. This is Marc reporting from Oswald de Andrade, and I will see you in the next one.
Hi, I'm Julian Kovacs, and I'm reporting for Spartan TV at the Joe Louis Arena in Detroit, where Kanye West's August to November St. Pablo tour continues. He recently performed in Miami, and I stood under that floating stage, and I was amazed. Hitting 29 major cities in the US and Canada, this has to be an exhausting tour for him. Kanye West has a set list from songs not just from the life of Pablo, but he had songs from all of the different albums. Word on the street that this is his best concert yet. Kanye West was first known as a performer in 2000 who produced Rockefeller Records. He has released over 10 albums in the past 12 years. Some of my favorite albums are his old ones. His first album, The College Dropout, released in 2004. He had a large success selling 3.3 million copies. The recent album he released, The Life of Pablo, was mainly performed in his concert. My name is Julian Kovacs, and reporting from the St. Pablo tour, and I will catch you later on.
Imagine engaging in physically challenging activities for participants of all ages, whether it be students or teachers. The freshmen went on a field trip to Pathfinders, where they did exactly that. These activities included tree climbing, rope courses, rock climbing, zip lining, as well as multiple other taxing activities like directly disarming a mousetrap on their own. Good morning. My name is Helena Perez, fighting off exhaustion at 5:45 a.m. for Spartan TV at Miami Country Day School. This September, the freshmen went on a field trip to Sarasota, Florida, and Tampa, Florida, which is a yearly tradition in the high school. This trip is to Pathfinders, a program that allows kids to step outside of their comfort zones, learn to push themselves, and overcome fear in a manner where trust in their safety is greater than their fear. The freshmen also go to Busch Gardens. Why Pathfinders has become a tradition, you may ask? When attending the informational meeting for the trip, freshmen were told Pathfinders build a sense of community. Pathfinders and Busch Gardens test our comfort zones socially, emotionally, and physically. We need to know our limits so we do not panic. Renee Mandel, a freshman who went on the trip, liked tree climbing because it was a fun, new experience. She also liked Busch Gardens because it was her first time on big roller coasters. Overall, she bonded with peers she didn't interact too much with prior to the trip, just as the informational meeting claimed she would. Her only complaint was that it was super hot and we got rained out for a handful of activities at Pathfinders and at Busch Gardens as well, as one could tell by this picture. According to Tyler Knoll, another freshman who went on the trip, she remembers that it was a very good bonding experience when we all had to help each other climb up the rock wall, for example. Unlike Renee, Tyler stated, "I would not go back to Pathfinders. It was a very hot and exhausting trip. I think a one-time trip is enough to bond with your classmates and friends." According to upperclassman Morgan Diablemont, what she remembers most from the trip is roasting marshmallows around a bonfire. From this experience, she claims she would go back to Pathfinders because if one is looking to get closer with people and willing to try new things, then the Pathfinders trip is a great way to do so. However, Morgan states, "I think the best part of the field trip was going to Busch Gardens because it was a good treat to have at the end of the trip." Overall, the freshman Pathfinders field trip is a worthwhile experience. Even though it was hot and rainy, participants feel they bonded more with their classmates and that Busch Gardens is a definite highlight. I'm Helena Perez, reporting for Spartan TV. Thank you.